Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Go ahead and hit the like button. You here watching the video, just go ahead and hit the like button. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. All right. Also, if you have any questions or comments about this video, please put your comments in the comment section. If you have any questions about the math that I do, in this video, please put your questions in the comment section. Also, share this video with somebody. All right. Let somebody see what we're doing at All This Math in terms of trying to teach math to the community for free. All right. Now, check out what I got in my hand. See that blue violation, that blue flat with the word violation on it? You know what it is, especially if you're from Philly. If you're from Philly, you know what it is. Or if you spend time in Philly, you know what this is. This is the envelope that the parking tickets come in. All right. PPA caught me slipping, caught me lacking, as some of the youth would say. Right. I didn't move my car in time, so they hit me with a $26 ticket. Right. Ticket was $26. The violation was $26. I don't play them games with like not paying parking tickets. I don't do that because I'm not about to come outside and see a yellow boot on my car. I got somewhere to go. You know what I'm saying? It might be an emergency or something, and then all of a sudden I can't even leave. You know what I'm saying? And I got to pay all this extra money. So I pays my tickets. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately, I don't get that many, but I pay them. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't like for that to be, my vehicle and my transportation to be a variable in my life. I like for that to be a constant. You know what I mean? See that? Math vocabulary, right? So, but what I do want people to understand and think about, and I want like parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties, big cousins, whoever, people in the community that care about young people, I want you to get in the habit of calculating percentages whenever there's an additional charge added on to something, right? In any situation that you're in. So the original charge in this situation was it was a $26 violation or $26 penalty for the violation, not moving my car in time, right? I was parked over the allotted amount of time, right? It's 2 hour parking on the block, all right? But then if you pay online, there's a $3.50 convenience fee. They call it a convenience fee, right? Now, granted, I could have went downtown or the center city, right? To the office and paid, probably could have paid cash, right? And I would have only paid the $26. But I wasn't planning on being downtown. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead, hop on the laptop, go ahead, play this real quick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm an older person, so I do serious business on my laptop. I do less important things on my phone. You know what I mean? But anyway, what I want to do is I want to calculate and figure out what percentage this convenience fee is compared to the price of this ticket. What percentage is the convenience fee compared to the price of the ticket? And I want y'all to get in the habit of doing that too. And it's also a way to just practice math skills and also understand what a percentage is and know how to calculate a percentage, right? So let's do this. So we're asking the question, $3.50 is what percent of 26? $3.50 is what percent of 26? Now, a percentage is just a fraction. That's really all it is. It's a fraction where your denominator is 100, right? It's a way to standardize information, right? So we're never comparing apples and oranges. So our denominators would all be the same. All right. So look. So we got. Let me switch it up a little bit. Let's do purple. All right. So the question. Let's write the question out. 20. No, not 26. 350 is what percent of $26, right? Let me put the dollar sign up front just to keep everything uniform. 350 is what percent of $26? Now, it's a few ways I could do this, right? I could do the is over of thing. Yeah, let's do that. Or I could just translate this into an equation and then solve it. Let's do the is over of. Is over of, if you're not familiar with it, is like when you're solving a percentage question, you set up a proportion. You set up a proportion. One fraction, you got is over of. Is your numerator, of is your denominator. The other fraction is percentage out of 100. All right. And then you just plug the numbers in. So it says 350 is. So therefore, 350 is going to replace the word is. 350 is our is number. That's what we consider our is number. It says is what percent. So what percent meaning we don't know what the percent is. So the percentage is the unknown value. Because like I said, I want y'all to figure out the percentages. When you're paying extra money, get into the habit of figuring out the percentages and become familiar with percentages. Because percentages are the language of money. People always want to talk about, I just need to know how to count my money, All right, well, you need to know percentages. If you don't know percentages, you ain't going to be able to really count your money. So like, how serious are you when you say that? Or you just talking trash and running your mouth, right? Like, really, learn percentages. Mathematics is the language in general that we need to know how to read, speak, and write. Within mathematics, we have like different dialects of mathematics, such as fractions. We got percentages. We got decimals. We got equations, right? We got graphs, a whole bunch of other stuff going on. We need to be familiar with percentages. All right. This is an opportunity for us to practice becoming familiar with percentages. Stop running away from the math. Embrace it. Run towards it. All right. So look, the is number is 350. So I'm going to replace the numerator over here with 3.50. Right? We really don't need that zero, but I'm going to keep it though. We replace the word of with 26 because it's of $26. Of $26. So $26 I call my of number. Right? So we're going to have 26 over here. Right? Your equal sign. Now the percentage we don't know. So we pick a variable for that. Since it says what percentage, I might just pick the word letter W. You can pick any letter in the English language or a symbol, any symbol you want. Right? Now the 100 is already there. So the 100 stays there. Right? So this is like, now we have a proportional equation because we got an equal sign right here. Proportional equation. Now I want to get rid of fractions. Some people watching this don't like fractions. Okay, cool. You don't like fractions? Let's get rid of them. All right. So how do we do that? One way is to cross multiply. Use what's called some people call it the cross product property. I call it the Malcolm X method because I like to evoke the name of ancestors like Malcolm X. Right. And it's 2025. It's May. This month is his 100th birthday. He was born in 1925. So 2025. This is the 100th anniversary of that brother's birth. So shout out to that ancestor, right? So I like to evoke the names of ancestors. So, and also because when we do the cross product property, we're going in an X formation. We're going in an X formation. See that? That's the X, right? So 350 times 100, $3.50 times 100. What happens is that ends up being 350. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna do it the long way. I'm gonna just do 3.50. I'm gonna show you 350 times 100. Then I'm gonna do 26 times W. I'm gonna show you 26W, right? Then in the next step, I'm gonna multiply these two together. My goal is to isolate W by itself, right? Isolate W by itself, right? I could divide by 26 right now, but I'm gonna do that later, right? Right now, I'm gonna do 3.50 times 100. So $3.50 100 times is 350. So I got 350 is equal to 26W. Now I'm trying to get W by itself. I'm trying to solve for W, right? Because W is the percentage that 350 is out of $26. All right. So I want to get rid of 26 to isolate W by itself. So in order to get rid of 26, what I got to do is I got to do the opposite operation. The opposite of multiplying 26 by W would be dividing by 26. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I divide by 26. And also when we solve equations, we got to be balanced. We got to be balanced. So if I divide by 26 on the right-hand side, I got to also divide by 26 on the left-hand side. So then I do 350 divided by 26, not 26 divided by 350, right? The 350 is already there. We're dividing by 26, by 26. We're dividing by 26. All right, 26 is our divisor. 26 is our divisor, divisor. All right, 26 divided by 26 is 1. 1W is the same thing as W. 1W is the same thing as W. 1W is the same thing as W. Now, 350 divided by 26. I don't know that off the top of my head, so this is the time for me to grab my calculator. I grab my trusty scientific calculator. All right. Texas Instruments needs to give me a check. I'm giving them free promo right now. 350 divided by 26 is 13.46153. Whoa, 13. God damn. Excuse my language. Bro, 13% for real? That's crazy. So 13 point, all right, look. 13.46%. Well, let's round it off. Let's round right up here. 13.446. I'm around at the 13.5%. That convenience fee is 13.5%. That's more than 10%. See, that puts things into perspective. That's another reason and another benefit of understanding the percentages that you're dealing with. Because somebody might look at this, oh, 350, that ain't a whole lot of money. Ain't too deep. You know what I'm saying? 350, that ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But look, think about it, you know, in terms of being more business minded, right? In terms of being more business minded, what percentage is 350 out of 26? 13.5% for a convenience charge? Bro, that's wild, bro. 13.5%, really? More than 10%? Convenience charges should be like, typically they be like, you know, 1%, 2%, maybe 3%. But 13.5%? But see, but this the thing though. If you don't understand mathematics, if you don't understand basic algebra, if you're scared of mathematics and scared of basic algebra, and you don't know how to calculate percentages, you don't understand the concept of percentages, you'll never know this. And you'll never stop to think like, yo, that's a lot of money. So maybe I won't just pay online so they can keep getting that 350 off me, right? Or maybe you might want to organize with some people and say, yo, even if I do pay online, we shouldn't be paying 13.5% just to pay online. We shouldn't be doing that. So who do we need to call? Who we need to talk to about PPA? What they doing? I mean, yeah, everybody get mad at PPA and everything, but you know what I'm saying? Let's learn math and use math to develop a stronger argument for why they maybe should change some of their policies. Because 13.5% is a lot. And I don't think that's no industry standard. Well, it might be an industry standard. All that means is other cities and other locales and jurisdictions need to lower their convenience fee charges too. You know, now granted, I know what they might say in response to this. They might say, well, it's always 350. So even if you have $100 ticket, you're still paying $3.50, perhaps, right? If it was $100 ticket, then you would still be paying. Then your percentage would be less because it's a smaller fraction, right? $3.50 is a smaller fraction out of a larger amount, right? But I think that's significant. 13.5%. That makes me want to like from now on, like walk downtown or something. Or like wait till I'm gonna be downtown and go pay in person and just pay the $26. Or just don't let them catch me slipping. Don't get no more tickets. You know? Well, all right. But anyway, I gotta run. Gotta go to a community meeting in North Philly. Not in my part of North Philly, but another part of North Philly. So let me get out of here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Like the video. You should already like the video. You should have liked it when I told you when I first started the video. All right. Share the video with some other people. Share it with people in Philly. Share it with people in other cities because it's, people get parking tickets all over the country. People get parking tickets everywhere, right? And people need to understand how to calculate percentages. That's important. We need to understand how to calculate percentages. Real talk. All right. And also drop a comment. If something I did up here you don't understand, right? My method, please let me know. Let me know. I might do another video. I might do a follow-up video so that I can let you know. I could tighten you up, straighten you out on like, what I did. And you know what I'm saying? Maybe I left something out. Maybe I neglected to explain something. Maybe I could explain something better. But let me know in the comments. That's what they're there for. All right. So go practice percentages. I'll see y'all later.